High school life is a constant pendulum swing between boring routine and sudden, utter chaos. And today was a chaos day. The teacher announced a classroom shuffle, basically a lottery of social doom. And our girl Ajin, a sweet soul who's more interested in baking than boys, just hit the jackpot. Or the anti-jackpot. She's now partners with Junu, one of the most popular guys in school. Just look at the expression on Junu's face, pure, unadulterated shock. Like fate just played a prank on him. And Ajin? She's blushing so hard she might actually be combusting. The school's ice prince and the quiet baking girl, thrown together by chance. This pairing feels like a system glitch. In class, Ajin tries to play it cool, scribbling down notes while the guy next to her just stares. The intensity of his gaze could probably set paper on fire. Putting on her bravest face, Ajin offers with a super bright smile, "Hey, I can take notes for you and print them out." She thinks she's breaking the ice, but our boy Junu just freezes, a faint blush creeping up his neck. His brain is short-circuiting over that smile. A little later, though, our girl's energy levels crash. Having skipped her nap, she's practically melting onto her desk. And that's when Junu makes his move, sliding some cash over. "Ajin," he says, his voice low, "can you grab me some bread and banana milk from the cafeteria?" And guess what? In her flustered state, the girl completely forgets the order. She dashes off, full of purpose, and returns panting with a cake and the wrong drink. Junu stares at the completely incorrect snack combo, utterly speechless. Is this girl's brain just 90% dessert recipes? Ajin's internal monologue is just a scream of panic. Huh, did I hear him wrong? Oh God, I messed up. She's ready to spontaneously combust from embarrassment. But then Junu reaches over, grabs the drink she bought by mistake, expertly pops it open with a fork and hands it to her. "Here, you can have it," he says, a ghost of a smile playing on his lips. And just like that, the air between them gets a little warmer, a little sweeter. Holding the milk, Ajin's brain just blue screens. Wait a minute, hold the phone. Did he make me buy all this just to give it to me? The thought drops into her mind like a bombshell, sending ripples through her entire system. This cold, aloof guy, was he actually this smooth? Or was she just reading way too much into it? From that day on, something shifted. Their interactions became a series of light jabs and teases. Junu would complain about her handwriting looking like chicken scratch, but then ask her to hold his book open for him. Did that banana milk not give you enough energy? He'd mock gently, but the playful glint in his eyes told a different story. Our girl was completely spiraling. The teacher's lecturing about celestial bodies, but Ajin's mind is in a whole other universe. Was he thinking of me? No way. It was just bait to make me do his work. She keeps trying to shut it down, but her heart's beating a mile a minute. She's totally dazed, her eyes sparkling like she's staring right into a nebula. And so the class passes in a haze of Ajin's daydreams and Junu's quiet presence. The second that bell rings, though, the hallway erupts. It's a stampede. Students flood out of classrooms like a tidal wave, all screaming the sacred word for today's lunch, malatang. But not everyone is hyped for lunch. Outside the girls' bathroom, a girl named Cho Wee is staring at her phone with pure annoyance. Some dude named Dojin is spamming her with cringy messages. While she fakes sweetness on a call with him, her mind is already calculating how to squeeze a designer bag out of this walking ATM before ghosting him for good. Ugh, men. Hanging up, Cho Wee sees a text. Ajin canceled their lunch plans. Her internal alarm bells start ringing. What plan could SHE have? I was going to ask about her, and Junu. Her expression darkens with suspicion. And right on cue, a familiar figure appears down the hall. Speak of the devil, it's Junu. Jealousy is a nasty beast. Elsewhere, another one of Junu's admirers, a girl with purple hair, sees him walking with Ajin, and something inside her just snaps. She barrels through the crowded hallway, deliberately slamming into Ajin before laughing it off and running away. Ajin stumbles, stunned, and Junu, he just glances back, his expression cold, and walks off. A pang of disappointment hits Ajin, sharp and sudden. The purple-haired girl's eyes burn with venom and resentment. I told her to stay away from him. How dare she disregard me? Teenage possessiveness, man. It's a ticking time bomb, just waiting to start a war. Despite these little dramas, Ajin and Junu's, whatever it is, seems to be moving forward. They end up eating lunch together, and the way Ajin absolutely demolishes her food makes Junu crack a smile. Wow, she really enjoys it, he thinks, watching her. This must be that thing people talk about, where you feel full just by watching someone you like eat. After lunch, Junu says he's heading to the library, and Ajin tags along. Turns out, he's not there for himself. He finds an easy-to-read science book for her. This overlaps with our earth science class. The explanations are simple. Lots of pictures, he says, handing it over. Ajin is floored. Wait, is he trying to help me study? A private tutoring session from the smartest kid in school? This is VIP treatment. Staring at the book, Ajin's mind starts to wander again. The stars on the page begin to look like the sparkle in Junu's eyes. Lost in her own little galaxy, she doesn't realize lunch break is almost over. She jolts up in a panic and walks right into him. Bottom, bottom. Her heartbeat is so loud, she's sure he can hear it. All she can see is the sharp line of his jaw and his eyelashes catching the light. The atmosphere gets charged fast. He reaches for a book on a high shelf. She, thinking of his injured arm, instinctively reaches up to help. And their hands touch. It's just for a second, but it feels like a jolt of electricity. Ajin's face goes nuclear red as she covers it in embarrassment. But Junu just asks softly, "Sorry, did that hurt?" It's over. She's so completely done for. Her heart is trying to escape her ribcage. And that scent again, that crisp green apple scent. She remembers it. The space between them is dangerously small, the air thick with unspoken things. This guy, every little thing he does sends her heart into a frenzy. Just as the tension reaches its peak, Junu's phone rings. It's bad news. His grandmother's in the hospital. He has to go now. The spell is broken. Ajin, ever the sweetheart, immediately tells him not to worry about her and to just go. As she watches him turn to leave, a strange mix of emotions settles in her chest. The next day is a massive milestone for Ajin. It's the day she finally gets her braces off. I can finally eat sticky desserts. For a baking enthusiast, this is basically heaven. She skips to the dentist's office, ready to embrace a new life where caramel cake is back on the menu. The procedure brings back a flood of memories. She thinks about all the times she covered her mouth when she laughed, self-conscious about her braces. Looking back now, it all feels so distant. Those 3 years were definitely worth it. As she's admiring her new, brilliant smile in the mirror, a familiar voice sounds from behind her. "I have something for my dad." Ajin turns, and her heart stops. It's Junu. And the plot twist of the century? This dental clinic is owned by Junu's dad. What kind of K-drama nonsense is this? Seeing Ajin's bright, braces-free smile, Junu freezes too. Something about her today seems different, brighter, prettier. With Junu's parents watching on and gossiping, Ajin gets a little carried away, grabbing his arm and gushing about how popular he is at school. Junu is both annoyed and amused, grabbing her wrist to make her stop. Ajin, that's enough. But to any onlooker, this just looks like some serious, high-level flirting. Standing in the clinic's lobby, the air between them is thick with this new, weird energy. Ajin is still marveling at the insane coincidence, completely oblivious to the thoughtful look in Junu's eyes. He studies her face. He thinks, now that I look closely, she really does resemble her dad. Ajin excitedly shows off her newly liberated teeth, fishing for a compliment. But our boy, with all the romantic tact of brick, just says, "You look the same, with or without them." And her heart shatters. Is it so hard to just congratulate me? She thinks, turning to leave in a huff. This guy is hopeless. Ajin, wait. Just as she's about to walk out, Junu calls after her. He clears his throat, looking a little awkward. Since he got her braces off, and it's almost dinner time. He trails off, but Ajin doesn't need him to finish. Her heart is pounding like a drum solo. Is he asking her out? He did. He actually did. They end up at a curry and tonkatsu place. Ajin is ecstatic. She hasn't had curry in 3 years because it would stain her braces. To make things even better, the restaurant gives them a free tonkatsu to celebrate their anniversary. Ajin feels like the luckiest girl alive, resting her chin in her hands with literal hearts in her eyes. Seeing her so happy makes Junu smile too. I've never seen Ajin smile so much, he realizes. She asks when he's getting his cast off, promising to treat him to a meal once he's healed. "You got hurt because of me, after all." Her thoughtfulness warms something inside him. "Sure, I'd like that," Junu replies softly. The mood is perfect, something special is blooming between them, and then the universe decides to crash the party. The sky outside darkens in an instant, a low rumble of thunder shaking the windows. A storm's coming. By the time they finish their meal, it's a full-on downpour. Meanwhile, in a luxury brand store across town, Choi is starring in a completely different drama. She's clinging to some gross older guy, faking affection while internally screaming. F******, he's so disgusting. I don't want you, I want those bags. On the outside, she's all blushing and shy. On the inside, she's a raging inferno of greed and frustration. And in another stroke of terrible luck, 2 of her classmates happen to be walking by. Is that Chohui's boyfriend? They whisper outside the store. Chohui's heart plummets. She can't let them find out about her arrangement. And just then, seeking shelter from the rain, Ajin and Junu duck into the same mall. And the four of them run right into each other. Awkward. Seeing Ajin and Junu together, the two guys immediately start teasing them. Chohui, thinking fast, introduces the man with her as her cousin. Hearing that word, a spark ignites in Junu's eyes. An idea begins to form. All Chohui wants is to get these two guys who know her secret away from her. The panic is real. I can't let them find out I'm dating someone. What if they tell Junu? She decisively grabs her classmates' arms and pulls them aside, making up an excuse to get them away from her cousin. Junu watches this all unfold from a distance, a sour taste in his mouth. Chohui mistook him for Ajin's boyfriend and called him her cousin. It's rubbing him the wrong way. What is she doing with another guy right in front of me? Is she embarrassed to be seen with me? The seeds of jealousy and misunderstanding begin to sprout. After the little drama concludes, Ajin and Junu say their goodbyes. Chohui breathes a sigh of relief, thinking she's dodged a bullet. Little does she know, her web of lies has already started to create a rift between the two people she's most afraid of losing. The rain is still pouring. Ajin needs to catch her bus, but Junu admits he's only got 3,000 won on him. I'll pay. Ajin insists immediately. You already bought me dinner. I can't let you pay for the taxi too. And with that, she's about to dash out into the downpour to hail a cab. Wait, Junu grabs her arm, stopping her. And in the next second, he does something that makes Ajin's heart skip a beat. He takes off his plaid shirt, holding it over both of their heads like a makeshift umbrella. Rain drips from the fabric, but in the small, sheltered world underneath, it's just the two of them. Ajin keeps her head down, her cheeks burning. She can smell that faint green apple scent clinging to his shirt. She can feel the warmth from his arm, the gentle way he holds the shirt to keep them both covered. I'm just trying to keep us from getting wet, he explains, a little embarrassed. But Ajin knows. In this moment, something fundamental has changed between them. They make it to the bus stop and stand in silence, the sound of the rain filling the space between them. Ajin has a million things she wants to say. Thank you. I'm touched, my heart is doing backflips, but the words are stuck in her throat. She just nervously wrings her hands, frustrated with her own awkwardness. Her bus arrives. She scrambles on like she's escaping, but her mind is screaming at her. Can I really just leave like this? At least say goodbye. She looks back through the door and sees something she absolutely did not expect. Junu, soaking wet and looking determined, is getting on the bus right behind her. I'll come with you, he says, his voice calm, but his eyes unwavering. Rain drips from his hair, and in their clear depths, Ajin sees her own reflection and an answer she's been waiting for. The bus ride is a masterclass in sweet, awkward silence. Ajin's heart is doing the tango. Oh my God, did he really get on because of me? She stares out the window at the city lights, feeling like she's in a dream. The rain outside has stopped, but a new kind of storm has just started in her heart, a shower of pink cherry blossoms. To break the silence, Ajin points out her apartment complex as they pass it. Junu just nods. When her stop comes, they wave goodbye. A simple bye, but it feels loaded with unspoken meaning. Thank goodness, she thinks the rain has stopped. But in someone else's world, the storm is just beginning. Down in a parking garage, that greasy guy Dojin confronts Chohui. You just leaving? What about my bag? Chohui's patience has finally run out. She lays into him, her words like daggers. You had no intention of buying me anything. You're just a flashy smooth talker with his parents' money. Her words hit a nerve. Enraged, Dojin shoves her against a car, yelling at her to get in. The man's polished facade cracks, revealing the ugly truth underneath. Chohui looks at him with pure contempt. But then, Dojin plays his trump card. He shows her a photo on his phone. It's her dad, with the woman he had an affair with. He's been digging into her past, and now he's using it as blackmail. A few weeks later, things at school are calm. Ajin and Junu's bond has grown stronger. They share banana milk in the classroom, enjoying a rare moment of peace. They have no idea that a much bigger storm is brewing just for them. The day has finally come for Junu to get his cast off. He asks Ajin to go to the hospital with him after school. To Ajin, this sounds suspiciously like an official date. The butterflies in her stomach are having a rave. Elsewhere, Chohui is suffocating under Dojin's threats. Her so-called dad, who's never done a thing for her, and this jerk digging into her past to blackmail her. Her heart fills with a cold, dark hatred. I just want to kill them all, she thinks, her eyes glinting with a dangerous edge. And all that hatred needs an outlet. She finds the perfect scapegoat. While working her part-time job at the restaurant, she stumbles upon a viral video from that day, the one of Ajin and Junu eating together. The flames of jealousy instantly consume her. Ajin and Junoo, when did they get together? The sweet scene on the screen is like a knife to her heart. She decides, in that moment, to blame all of her own misery on this innocent, happy girl. And so the storm hits. Joey confronts Ajin in the hallway. "I'll give you one more chance," she says, her voice like ice. "Tell me there's nothing going on between you and him." Ajin is taken aback by her sudden hostility, but she answers truthfully that she's going with Junoo to the hospital today. That answer is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Chohui's plan clicks into place. She fakes feeling unwell and asks the kind-hearted Ajin to help her move some supplies to the art room and sort them out. And Ajin, bless her trusting soul, agrees without a second thought. While Ajin is alone in the empty art room, sorting supplies, Chohui slips out. Using a piece of wire, she locks the door from the outside. With a soft click, Ajin's world is plunged into darkness and isolation. When Ajin realizes she's locked in, sheer panic sets in. "Is anyone there?" "I'm locked inside," she cries, pounding on the door. As the sky darkens, a chilling fear creeps over her. It triggers a traumatic memory from her childhood of being locked in a closet, a memory she's kept buried for years. She curls up in a corner, trembling. Just as despair threatens to swallow her whole, she remembers that day at coding camp. The boy who opened the closet door and asked, "Are you okay?" The boy who was her only light in the darkness. Meanwhile, back in the classroom, Junoo has been waiting. And waiting. Something feels wrong. She's such a handful. He mutters, but despite his complaints, he gets up and goes to find her. He finds his way to the art room. The door is locked from the outside with a ridiculous-looking pink wire. He easily undoes it and pushes the door open. And there she is, curled up in a corner, looking like a small, frightened kitten. Her clothes are damp, and she's shivering uncontrollably. Without a word, Junoo takes off his school jacket and gently drapes it over her shaking shoulders. It's still warm from his body, and it carries that familiar, comforting scent of green apples. The next day, Ajin is walking home with her friend, who's still freaking out about yesterday's incident. "You must have been so scared. How did you get out?" she asks, rapid fire. But our girl is completely spacing out, lost in her own world. She stammers, a blush creeping up her cheeks, and finally confesses, "My first love, Gwang Hyan, he saved me." "Hold up, what? Gwang Hyan?" Her friend's face freezes, a look of pure, unadulterated girl. "Are you serious right now?" Her friend's mind flashes back to not so long ago, when Ajin was crying her eyes out because this Gwang Hyan guy had a girlfriend. But now, it seems our girl has conveniently swapped out yesterday's hero with the object of her long-standing crush. Meanwhile, a certain someone sees this as the perfect opportunity, a chance to drive a wedge between Junoo and Ajin. She's already scheming, pushing another girl forward. "You should really try to hit on him this time." Poor Ajin, completely oblivious. She's clutching the warm drink Junoo gave her yesterday, unable to bring herself to drink it. The warmth, the accidental brush of their fingers, it's all replaying in her mind. She's lost in the memory of his gentle profile and his offer to walk her home. Completely unaware, she's become a pawn in someone else's game. Across the classroom, Junoo watches her, worried. She seems so distracted. Did yesterday's ordeal really shake her up? He remembers how she left without her bag, how he had to go to the hospital alone for his own scrapes. Man, this girl is a handful. Junoo wants to ask her to an escape room this weekend, but the words get stuck in his throat. He just watches her smiling like a fool and sighs. Does she think smiling like that makes everything okay? Just then, the teacher walks in with an announcement. A new trainee teacher is joining them. The classroom erupts, the girls buzzing with excitement. And then, the door opens. A tall, handsome figure steps inside. It's him, Gwang Hyan. Fast forward to our class. Mr. Kim wants everyone to partner up and draw each other's portraits. Ajin is practically drooling, ready to volunteer as his model. But as fate would have it, she ends up paired with Junoo. The air is a little awkward, but as they actually start to observe each other, the mood shifts. I never noticed how long Junoo's eyelashes are. Ajin thinks, mesmerized. And under her focused gaze, our boy can't help but feel a slight blush creeping up his neck. Junoo finishes his drawing. It's not Ajin. It's a green apple, drawn with terrifying realism. The whole class is stunned. This guy's skills are on another level. Ajin stares at the apple, and something clicks, that comforting scent from his jacket. So he likes green apples. This small discovery feels like a secret, melting sweetly in her heart. She looks at Junoo, her eyes sparkling with pure admiration. Meanwhile, Junoo's friend Jongmin is about to make a big move. He's going to confess to his longtime crush, Cho Wee, and he's feeling confident. This time it's in the bag. Junoo is skeptical, remembering how badly he crashed and burned last time. But there's no stopping a man on a mission. So Jong-min, armed with a bouquet of flowers, charges into battle. The result? An epic disaster. Jong-min musters all his courage, presents the flowers, and declares, "This is how I feel about you." But the girl across from him, Cho-wee, just stares back in shock before delivering the final blow. "I like Jinu." Boom. Total system failure. Jong-min freezes on the spot, the flowers in his hands suddenly weighing a ton. He never imagined he'd end up being the wingman for his own rival. Just as Junu's getting a massive headache from his friend's drama, he gets a text from Ajin. She wants to meet up, says she has something for him. With a complicated heart, he goes to meet her. She hands him a box containing a tart she baked herself. "I was thinking about what to make, and I remembered the apple you drew in art class," she says, her smile as warm as the sun. In that single moment, all the frustration and gloom in Junu's mind seems to vanish, wiped away by a simple dessert and this girl's smile. Just as Ajin is about to head for the bus, Junu pulls her into a nearby arcade. Turns out, that bread doll she's been obsessed with is the grand prize for the basketball game. Without a word, our boy picks up a ball and enters God mode. Every shot is clean, every arc is perfect, swishing through the net. The score climbs relentlessly, and the growing crowd can only watch in awe. "Go Jinu!" Ajin cheers from the sidelines, her fists clenched, her eyes locked on the figure dominating the court. As the final ball sinks perfectly, the score freezes above 900. Mission accomplished. Jinu retrieves the coveted bread doll and, like a returning hero, presents it to her. On the way home, Ajin is hugging the soft bread doll, practically floating on a cloud of happiness. "You're amazing, Junu," she says, her voice full of genuine awe. The mood is perfect, the sunset casting a golden glow on them. As they wait for her bus, just before she leaves, Junu suddenly speaks up, asking the question that's been bugging him all day. "Do you know the trainee teacher?" The air freezes. Ajin stops, then a shy blush spreads across her face. Looking down, she murmurs, "He's my first love." The words hit Junu like a ton of bricks. He misunderstands, hearing it in the present tense, not the past. He sees her shy expression, and his heart sinks. The girl's flustered explanations about him having a girlfriend only sound like she's trying to hide her current feelings. Junu goes silent. He doesn't know what to say, just a tightness in his chest. "I was just curious how you felt," he manages to say stiffly before turning to leave, his back radiating disappointment. The next day at school, he's walking the halls completely out of it when he turns a corner and runs straight into the source of all his troubles, Gwang Hai and Kim. The two lock eyes, one with a perfect smile, the other with "just my luck" written all over his face. A new storm is clearly brewing.